What are your weaknesses? Let me start by saying your greatest weakness is your greatest weakness. It's not your greatest strength taken to an extreme and portrayed as a weakness. Confusing? I have come across way too many HR professionals recommending that you should just take your greatest strength, take it to extreme, and then say that is your greatest weakness. Like, for example, my greatest weakness is that I work too hard, I'm a perfectionist, I don't delegate as much as I should, I'm a people pleaser, I am very critical of my own work. Please, stop. Seriously, what are you trying to do? I'm Deniz Shoshal. I'm a manager with PwC Consulting and have been interviewing thousands of candidates for the past almost 10 years as a hiring manager. If you say one of the above, then I would immediately label you as a, sorry to say, but bullshitter. Do you know what else I would feel? I would feel that you will continue to BS me in every opportunity you get if I hire you. There's simply no reason for me to hire a team member, especially a subordinate, whom will try to BS her way through tough times. Think about this for a second. Of all the qualities you have, think about it. Your hard skills, your motivation, that college degree you studied so hard to obtain, where also you could be known as a bullshitter? I'm confident that the answer is no. If you gave one of the answers above before, it's because you were misguided and you received bad advice. Let's look at some examples. In the world of consulting, which is what I know very well, we're challenged with deadlines and quality deliverables on a daily basis. It's really, really tough out there. And this is sure, I'm sure this is the same with other multinational companies as well, be it investment banking, consumer goods, marketing, sales, anything. A large multinational company didn't get to be the number one with lazy employees. They must have superstars. In these high-intensity environments, leaders, managers need soldiers who will fight with them as one united team who is determined to capture that castle. So there are no lies or bullshits in such a team. There are no acts, no pretense. There are only hardcore facts. So knowing this, when we're looking for new additions to such an environment in our teams, we make sure we're confident we can trust you to deliver that research when you say it at the quality you're committed to, right? There are no excuses, buts, this or that happens. I hope I'm being clear when I say how honesty plays an integral role in your interview process. For example, when I join interviews, I have a mental checklist about this. It goes like this. Is she trustworthy? Can I trust her? Is she honest? Can she say sorry when she messes up? We all do mess up. So can she learn from it and then move on, right? Is she motivated to work hard for the team? If the answer is yes to all of these questions, then only I move on to evaluate the hard skills. And I test you to understand whether you're trustworthy or not. I can increase the pressure and use your answers against you. And I look for inconsistencies in your answers, right? And even if an opportunity presents itself, then I even try to make you say sorry. Are you adult enough to say sorry when you need to? Or is it a pride issue? Am I dealing with self-entitlement here? Because if you're suffering from it, I suggest you work on it before you start interviewing with anyone. It will be very, very obvious. So basically, like, interviews with these companies are mind games at its best. Right? This is with a hiring manager, not necessarily with HR, but a hiring manager definitely. All right, back to topic. So you were asked a very simple question under pressure. What are your weaknesses? If you can't answer this, then I'm sure you will not answer honestly once we start working together. All right, so I hope so far so clear for you. So far so clear. Basically, you just need to create honesty. But how do you answer that question? Good. So let's get to it. First, be specific. There are about 1 million weaknesses I can list down here, but without knowing your domain, background, and experience, it's very difficult to say anything about it. But what I thought is, I could share with you my very own weaknesses, and perhaps they may also relate to you as well. Sounds good? Good. All right, here it goes. I feel very vulnerable. Although I'm very good with applications of PowerPoint, its tools and functions, I'm not the best when it comes to designing the slides. This is true. I really am not a good designer. I can't design a slide based on what I have in my mind. But luckily, PwC Consulting, my employer, has probably the best slide library in the world. So all I have to do is just go through about 400 slides and pick the best template that suits that situation. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know if I would be allowed to actually take initiative, because consulting companies invest millions of dollars to make sure their slides look the best, as great as they can be, with their colors and the layouts. Great. Second weakness, I am confrontational. A bit too much, perhaps. This has given me many problems in the past, especially with clients from regions where confrontations are discouraged, such as Japan and Philippines. Although I think I mastered the art of confrontation in certain cultures like those, confrontation itself is frowned upon. So there isn't really anything I can do about it other than just be honest with the partner in charge of that project and excuse myself even from those projects. And of course, I never include those uber sensitive people in my own teams. My third weakness, we have a strategy development tool at work called Transform. I'm just not good at it. Prior to PwC, I used different methodologies and frameworks to develop strategies, and somehow I can't get rid of that thought process, even now after 4 years with PwC. That doesn't mean I'm bad at strategy development, but I'm just not very good at following Transform, right? Good. Should I continue or not? All right. So one more. I get bored very quickly. My motivation peaks at first day of a new engagement, stays at the peak for about a month or two maybe, and then drops gradually until about 6 months if the engagement is that long. If it's longer than 6 months, then I really need unearthly motivation to keep going. But this is not a huge problem, because as 95% of our projects are less than 6 months, I've never encountered any issue about that. All right, maybe one more. I am not a native English speaker, so whenever I know that the job requires long deliverables, I always include a junior consultant who's a native English speaker. So he or she becomes the one who proofreads my work and edits my work. Good. So enough with the weaknesses, but let's analyze them. What am I doing? I'm giving you the weakness, but then explaining that it's really no big deal. It's not something that is so great, so huge that you will fail me, right? If you were the interviewer. One thing I suggest that you do is, once you state your weaknesses, then you talk about what you're doing to be better at them. But also remember, they're still work in progress, right? They're still indeed your weaknesses, but you're working on them. Cool? Great. So now get to work and start writing down all your weaknesses in an Excel list. Once you finish the list, hopefully you'll come up with like 10, 20 of them. Start evaluating your shortlists based on criteria, something like this. Does mentioning this weakness hurt your chances? Is it something vital to your performance at work? Is it something not fixable if you work on it? Because certain weaknesses cannot be easily fixed. And eliminate all those that you answered yes to any of these questions. So if you aren't left with anything, then go back to your favorite spot and continue thinking. Come up with at least 2 weaknesses that when you ask the questions that I mentioned earlier, the answer is a resounding no. Let's say you really thought long and hard but still couldn't find anything, and you feel you have no option but to lie. In that case, my first suggestion is to urge you to think a bit more, but if you still can't, then I understand to a degree. After all, if you are a fresh graduate, you may have very little relatable experience. In that case, I think you have a perfectly justifiable reason not to know your professional weaknesses as yet. Then, why don't you say it that way instead of lying? You will collect so many honesty points. If you're a fresh graduate, then go ahead and say something like this. Well, here's the thing. As much as I want to share with you my professional weaknesses, I still haven't accumulated enough work experience to share with you a list of them, right? Why not? So then you can continue and say that it's not that I won't have, I'm sure I will have many of those, but I guarantee you that whatever they will be, I will work on them. And if you're interested in my weaknesses related to my personal life, I'd be happy to share with you all. But how much time do you have? Trust me, giving an answer like this, it will work wonders. Very well, we're done. Before I conclude the video, can you please do me a favor and like this video if you benefited from it only? Also, this is a very new channel. Creating these videos takes so much time, so would you please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this? They will be good indicators for me to see if I should spend more time on developing these videos. And finally, what is your number one struggle at the moment? Why don't you put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer to you as soon as I can. Finally, if you're interested in receiving more training, I have an awesome 3-day video training course where I teach unemployed and underemployed how to prepare, pass, but most importantly, land interviews with multinational companies. It's called Landing Interviews Guaranteed, and it's free. It's entirely free, by the way. It's a 3-day training program, and each video runs for about 30 minutes. I'm sure you will find so much value in that. All right, until next time.